All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy lives to stand in a very long line, and for that I do apologize, but I appreciate you guys not only being here today, but for volunteering to help make this championship great. Without our volunteers, we truly cannot do anything, so for that I am very grateful. So for those of you that I haven't met, my name is Mallory. I am the volunteer coordinator. I am responsible for all of the emails in your inbox. So we're just gonna go through some very important information about the championship to help make you feel prepared before you get on site. So without further ado, we'll get started. So we're going to start with an overview of the USGA. The USGA is the organization that is running this championship. So they are over 120 years old, very well-known and well-respected organization. They employ over 350 people. They have close to 700,000 now USGA members throughout the country and over 8,000 member clubs. So they work out of Liberty Corner in New Jersey. They are the ones that are doing all the work behind the scenes. And how they fit in with the rest of the golf world. So the USGA, they conduct 4 open championships and 10 amateur championships every single year, including this one. And they do a lot of other things, but we're just gonna go through the brief overview. Augusta National Golf Club, they are responsible for the Masters every April. They kind of kick off the golf season there, and they also do a lot with the Drive, Chip, and Putt, which is a youth golf organization to help grow the game there. The PGA of America, they certify your local club pros, and they also run the PGA Championship and the Ryder Cup matches. The R&A is the overseas affiliate. They run the Open Championship every year, and they are one of the oldest organizations in the world as far as golf goes. The LPGA, that is the Women's Professional Tour. They've got events every week all across the country and the world. And then the PGA Tour is the men's equivalent. So what the USGA does is they've got 4 main targets that they work towards. They do championships, governance, golf facilities, and golfer engagement. So really their main goal is to provide an opportunity for the best golfers in the world to compete for something meaningful. They set the rules of the game all over the world, and they've also began working towards long-term sustainable golf practices as far as golf course maintenance goes and making it a greener leisure sport, I guess. And then lastly, they just try to get more and more people involved. They're trying to grow the game constantly. So they've got new initiatives all the time. Next, our championship staff. You've seen all of us out there packing bags. So Steve Marino is our championship director. He is our fearless leader. And then we have Michael Cataldo, who is the services manager. Jeff Dragella is our sales director. Casey Prashan, director of operations. So all of the tents and the build that you see going up over at Century World, he is planning all of that. Ticketing and digital communications is Riley Offerman. She is also out there. I am in charge of volunteers, and then I have a lovely intern named Ariana, who is also out there handing out the water bottles. So if you see us around, say hello, introduce yourself. We're always glad to chat. And then where we come from is a company called ProLink Sports. We've been in business since 1993, before I was even born, and we are a sports and golf management firm. We typically manage PGA Tour and PGA Tour Champions events all across the country, and we are here working on this US Senior Open. We have had part of our staff on site since August of 2021. So that just goes to show how much planning goes into 7 days of golf. So we have been very, very glad to be here. You guys have all been wonderful, welcoming, and friendly, helping us get the lay of the land, and obviously being willing to volunteer and be a part of a great championship. All right, so a quick graphic here about where the USGA championships are being held this year. You can see they're pretty heavy on the west and east coast this year, with a few in the middle, including the US Senior Open. Highlights, we've got the US Open at Los Angeles Country Club. The US Women's Open is at Pebble Beach. The Senior Open here, obviously, and then the US Senior Women's Open at Waverly Country Club in Oregon. So the dates, we've got practice rounds going on June 26th, 27th, and 28th. We will be open to the public on the 27th and 28th. So you can come in, get some autographs, see your favorite players out there, a little more relaxed than during the competition rounds. So those start on Thursday, and then a cut after 36 holes on Friday. So we've got 156 of the best senior players in the world come into play. We've already got about 85 that are exempt. So those are the professional players, the Steve Strickers and Jerry Kellys of the world, some Wisconsin favorites for sure. And then there are 33 different qualifying sites throughout the country, one being held here at Stevens Point Country Club. So those will fill in the rest of those remaining spots with, your neighbor down the street or someone who didn't make it to the tour yet. So always a fun event. Definitely go check out that qualifying event. And like I said, it'll be a 72-hole championship, which is different than the Champions Tour. They will have a cut after Friday. We're expecting about 10,000 people on our busiest days, and they are playing for a total of $4 million. So if you want to get your golf game in shape and try and qualify, part of that could be yours. All right, now the good stuff. The role of a volunteer. Once again, thank you. Like I said, we cannot do anything without you, not just here, but any championship. That's my favorite thing to do when I'm watching golf, is to look for the hardworking volunteers in the back and say, look at them go. We have 33 states and 6 countries represented by our volunteers. So we have people traveling quite literally from all over the world. Canada, our lovely neighbors to the north, but as far as the Philippines, overseas in the UK, Nigeria, Poland, and the Pacific Islands as well. So big thank you to our international and out-of-state volunteers. We have 18 different volunteer committees that are gonna cover everything that needs to be done throughout the championship. So you guys have all been assigned to a committee and should have received some communication from your chairperson already. Right now, and these hours may change bearing any bad weather, but we have about 7,900 shifts scheduled across all these different committees for over 30,000 volunteer hours. So you think about that in the span of 7 days, that is a lot of people working really hard, and I do appreciate that so much. We reached our wait list in July of this past year, which is absolutely incredible, completely unprecedented to have to move to a wait list so early. So good for you guys for getting in there very early and securing your spot. We've got about 2,300 volunteers that are registered and another 500 or 600 on the wait list. So the response has been absolutely amazing. Your first role as a volunteer is to be an ambassador for this championship, for Century World, the state of Wisconsin, the USGA, ProLink Sports, yourself, and the world's best senior golfers. You guys are the most visible part of the championship. There will be green polos all over the place, and people will definitely know who you guys are and what you're doing. So as part of being an ambassador, you guys are a source of information for the championship itself, the grounds, and then also the local area for those of you who live nearby. People traveling in, they like to know about the best place to grab dinner, grab a drink, maybe some local beverages that are worth trying. And this is anybody from spectators, the players, the USGA officials coming in, other volunteers coming from out of state, and the vendors who are working. So you're going to get a lot of questions, and the more you're willing to share, the better. Or talk to your fellow volunteers and get some ideas for where you might go after your shift to grab something to eat. And then service. This is something that we really, really want to emphasize. Since we are partnering with Century World, anybody who's ever been over there knows that service is their bread and butter. You want to make sure that you're greeting everyone who comes through with a smile and a good morning. How are you doing? We really encourage you to be proactive in greeting people or asking if they have a question. Some people, like myself, can be a little bit shy when having to ask for directions or get your questions answered. So, if you see someone standing around, say, "Hi, how are you doing? Is there anything I can help you with?" Or just ask how their day has been going, if they've seen any great shots. People love to talk. So strike up a conversation and, put your personal touch on it. Something else that we want to emphasize is when you're on course, I'll talk about this a little bit later as well, but directing people to an information source. You don't need to know everything, but we also don't want you to make up an answer. We want you to be able to direct to a correct answer. So if you're not sure, you can direct them to your hole captain, your committee chairperson, a championship staff, a USGA staff member. Do not be afraid to say, "I'm not sure, but we can find out." It'll save you a lot of trouble. I have tried to make an answer up and it doesn't go well. About Century World. Their general manager is Mike James. He unfortunately can't be here today. His daughter is graduating college. A poor excuse in my book, but he's the boss. So the course designer of Century World is Robert Trent Jones Jr. It originally opened in 1982, and they've done major renovations in 2013 and 2021. So they also recently opened the Inn at Century World, just right across the grass, I guess. It's on site. It's a beautiful boutique hotel that, they've got their stay and play packages going. It's a wonderful way to spend a weekend is golf the course, grab some dinner, and relax in kind of that Wisconsin lake home-esque kind of styled hotel. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. All right, transportation. How are we going to get there? So all of you should have received in your volunteer bag a teal parking pass. It's labeled Lot V. So you can see right over there, this is kind of the overview because some of us, me, don't know the area very well, even though I've lived here for a year. So this is Division Street, and North Point is right up there. So this is on the west side of the high school. We will have parking attendants there helping you, get into a spot. And then there will be shuttles just for volunteers at those lots. Nobody else is parking in that lot. You'll be able to get on a shuttle and it will drop you right at the main gate. We're asking you to allocate about 25 minutes to get from the parking lot to your check-in location. So about 5 minutes to park and get on a shuttle, 10-minute shuttle ride, get through security, and then get to your check-in location. Your check-in location will be communicated by your hole captain or committee chair if you have not already received that information. Right. And then general fan parking will be at Lot Q at the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point. So that is their biggest parking lot right there. And their intramural field is some overflow option as well. So we ask you to utilize that lot when you are not volunteering if you're choosing to come as a spectator. Your credential gets you in every day of the championship, whether you're working or not. But if you are coming as a fan just to enjoy the day, please park at Lot Q. Same deal, shuttles come to that parking lot and drop you off right at the main gate. So you don't need to pay for parking or the shuttle, that's all free. And Lot Q, you do not need a parking pass. So no need to worry about that there. Public safety. So the City of Stevens Point Police Department has been wonderful. They're kind of leading that charge when it comes to keeping everybody safe and having a plan. They're working very closely with the Portage County Sheriff's Department, the Fire Department, and the Sentry Security Team. So you will see them on site at different posts where there's high traffic areas or player traffic areas. And then we will also have CSE is a private security team that will also be on site. So they are good resources. If anything is out of the ordinary is happening, please look for those folks. And first and foremost, report them to security, and if you don't see anybody, call 911. You guys are all very smart individuals. You know what is an emergency, so please use your best judgment. Suspicious activity, more and more these days we're seeing kind of that if you see something, say something. It's better to be safe than sorry. If there's something that just doesn't make you feel right, please talk to your committee chair, the security, anybody that you can find that will be able to kind of direct the response appropriately. Like I just said, call 911 if there is something very, very wrong. Unattended packages, this is a big event, and unfortunately there are mass casualty incidents that are happening more and more. So anything that seems out of the ordinary or seems like there should be somebody by that package, that bag, any of that, report it right away. We need to get law enforcement involved as soon as we can to take care of the situation. All right, our medical support. Aspirus is our medical partner. They have also been working very closely with law enforcement on that public safety plan. They've been wonderful. They have thought of things that I wouldn't have thought of in a million years. So they are going to be on site running the medical tents, as well as some medical carts that'll be roaming around, and we'll have a bike team as well. So if there is a medical emergency, please go to the medical tent or alert a staff member that something is wrong. We're going to radio and ask medical support to come over to where the situation is occurring. Be specific when you're describing it, what is happening, where you are, and when you're describing where you are, you want to describe it from a player's point of view. So it's always, okay, I'm on the 14th fairway, players left. So as you would be playing that hole, that's how you indicate what side of the fairway you're on. You get real turned around on a golf course as you're zigzagging back and forth. So where are the golfers going, and is it left or right? Like, you guys just take your time and make sure that you know exactly where you are so that they can get there as quickly as possible. The public safety channel, all radios used by certain volunteer committees, the committee chair people, Marshal hole captains and then our staff will have radios. Find somebody with a radio to call for medical help. And we also have AEDs located throughout the course that the medical personnel will be able to utilize. Medical tents. We're going to have 2 tents. Kind of your main tent is right by the 18th green, and then an auxiliary tent between the 3rd tee and 13th fairway will be a secondary tent. They're going to be offering the full range of care. They're going to treat pretty much everything on site. And they will open when the gates open at 7 a.m. and until the course is cleared at the end of the day. They'll be open, serving the public in any way that they need to. Something that I would like you all to do when you get to your first shift, your first position, orient yourself to know where the closest medical tent is so that you can provide good, precise directions for anybody that needs it. Anything, they're willing to help with anything. Anybody from having a blister and needing a Band-Aid to someone having a heart attack. They are ready to help, and we are encouraging you all to utilize them, push the public there if they're having any kind of problem. We want to keep everybody safe and in good health. All right. Weather advisory, watch, and warning. So we've got weather staff on site every single day. They monitor what's going on and what's coming very, very closely. We will move through these 4 weather alerts, blue, yellow, orange, and red, to notify the public and the volunteers about what is coming our way. So a blue is kind of that lowest level, just that we're on the lookout for it. It might happen, it might not. Yellow is that dangerous weather is potentially coming our way. Orange is when you kind of start to prepare for an evacuation or a suspension, that you need to be prepared to take action yourself and then guide the public to where they need to go. Red is the horn is blowing. We're stopping play. We're getting the players into a vehicle or a shelter. You all will be evacuating, and grandstands should be emptied, all of that. Specific instructions about what's happening will be posted on the leaderboards located all throughout the course to let you know if you need to get back to the bus, shelter in place, wait out the rain, that sort of thing. That'll be communicated via your chairperson, your hole captain, and then also on those video boards. My colors. All right, those are the colors. I was wondering where they went. Security, when you guys are coming on site, we want you to be ready for what's gonna happen and not have to be told to go back to the bus. So we will be doing security screening every single time you come on site, much like you're going to, a sporting event, a Brewers game, a Twins game, a Vikings game, not a Packers game, because I'm from Minnesota. Should I not have said that? I feel like I got one Vikings fan. I hear one person. I don't know if I just shot myself in the foot there. Shouldn't have told you. So on the back of your credential, there will be a full list of prohibited items. Please take a look at that and make sure that you don't have anything that's on that list. And then this is kind of the highlights. Don't bring weapons, please. Tablets and computers, unless you're part of the media, you're not allowed to bring that on site. Cameras, you can be using those Monday through Wednesday for your personal use. Backpacks, briefcases, purses larger than 6 by 6 by 6. So that clear bag that you got passes those requirements. You can bring that clear bag on site. And if you have a little bit of a larger bag, that is that is also clear, that would also work. Water bottles, you all got a very heavy, very nice water bottle that is 25 ounces, so you are good to go to bring that into the championship grounds as long as it is empty when you get there. Mobile devices, our phones, our favorite things. So you can bring your phone in. These need to be on silent or vibrate at all times. That includes watching videos, things like that. If you get a phone call and you need to answer, make sure you're not near the tee box, near the green. Get yourself away from play before you answer, and be respectful of what may or may not be going on around you. During the championship rounds, you are not allowed to take video or audio recordings. Texting and email, you can do that everywhere, but as long as you're not standing in somebody's way trying to get through, be aware of your surroundings. If you're taking pictures or video in areas that you're not allowed or on days you're not allowed, you may lose your credential for the week. So please be respectful, use your best judgment, and as a volunteer, you are not to be on your phone except to communicate with your chairperson or hole captain or fellow volunteers. So thank you for that. Once again, you can bring cameras Monday through Wednesday. You're not allowed to take video or audio. As I just said, taking pictures while on duty is a no-go for us. We want you to be focused on what the task at hand is. And if you're off your shift before, after, you want to go by the range and try and get a picture with your favorite player, feel free to do so, as long as they are consenting to it and you're not interrupting any part of their routine. Disability services. So we have a committee that is responsible for making this an accessible championship for all of our fans and volunteers. So they will be driving shuttle carts from the admission gates and designated ADA viewing areas. They'll be driving on a loop to help get people around the course as needed. We will have specific viewing areas on 9, 16, and 18 green, so there will be a platform reserved for those in wheelchairs, scooters, or those that are a little less mobile and can't scale the grandstands. They will be able to get a good view right from that platform. They will also be distributing 50 complimentary mobile scooters, like the ones pictured, to any of the fans that need it. If you just broke your leg and need a little hand, that is more than okay. First come, first serve. These are located at the main admission gate. And the admission gates. We've got one main entrance off of North Point Drive where you all will be shuttled to and dropped off right there. So you'll be able to get in, go through security, and we'll have those disability service committees set up right there. The merch tent will be right there, kind of get you started right away. And then there is a second gate through the Century World parking lot for VIPs. That is not a public entrance, clearly. So there will be a few people coming in from there, but the bulk of everyone is going to come through the main entrance off of North Point. So you can see here, this is gate 1. North Point is right here at the bottom. And we've got all kinds of stuff right there. And then this right here is the second gate where officials, players, staff will be coming in through. Credentials. So this is an example of your credential that you may or may not have received today. So some committees need a photo based on what their access level is. And then the access codes along the left-hand side let you and security know where you are allowed to be. So on the back of your credential, it also lists out what all the codes mean. So for example, this credential says that I can go to the media center, the practice areas, and scoring areas. If you are someone who is doing a visual check, like our hospitality volunteers, please stick to what those credentials are saying. It is better to be safe than sorry if you turn someone away that doesn't look like they have the right access than to let someone in and have something go wrong. So please be aware that some volunteers may have different access than you. It's just based on what your responsibilities are. And then when you get on site, they will scan this QR code right there, and that'll let you in. There is also a lanyard in your bag. Please attach that to your credential. I already see someone in the front row has done that. Wonderful. Good work. We want your credential around your neck at all times. Please don't tie it to your belt loop or have it sticking in your pocket. When you're volunteering, that is. If you are coming as a spectator, please scan your credential, and then you can put it away. Sometimes those credentials make people think that you are working, and if you're not, just save yourself a few questions by putting that away. If you're willing to answer questions and want to wear it and not lose it, go for it. If you lose your credential, please contact me right away so that we can make sure that you're getting on site. Junior tickets. So anyone 17 and under are free with a ticketed adult. So bring your cousins, your grandkids, your kids. They can come in with you. You don't need to do these ahead of time. They're available at the admission gate. So you just go, scan in your ticket or your credential, and then they will be able to enter with you. Military tickets, we have to do these online through a website called govx.com. You'll put in your military ID, and they will give you a discount on a ticket for those of you that may have a spouse or a friend who is active or retired military personnel. Can direct them to that site to get a discount on your tickets. All right, more good stuff. So, volunteer headquarters is right there. So what you're gonna do when you come off the shuttle, you're gonna walk around. There's a maintenance building right in this white space. You're gonna walk around to the right. That is volunteer headquarters. That is a good place to be. If you need to check in there, if you need a snack, some water, or just have some questions. So it is players left of 15 fairway near the maintenance building. You have access in there any day that you're scheduled. The Volunteer Services Committee, also those folks that have been helping pack bags, will be stationed in there to answer questions and get you checked in. We'll have some snacks, water, pop, coffee in the mornings. You'll be able to stop in there and grab something before you go out to your spot. Lunch vouchers. Breakfast is just grab and go, served beginning at 6:30 every day in the volunteer tent. You don't need a voucher for that. It's there until it's gone. So those early volunteers, if they're very hungry, there might not be anything left when you come at 11. So lunch vouchers will be distributed from your whole captains or your chairperson every day. So you'll get a small slip of paper that you can take to the concession stands for a burger, a wrap, a sandwich, chips, cookie, candy, something to drink. You will redeem those there. For each shift that you work, you'll get a voucher. And those are, anytime the concession is open, you can redeem those. It can be dinner too. supper too, I don't know. All right, your handbook. The volunteer handbook is also going to be distributed digitally. Even though you guys are here now, you're going to get a recording of this. If you want to watch it again and listen to me for another hour, go for it. The slides will be included, and then a separate volunteer handbook that's got a few more details in it, talking about autographs, more first aid, evac plans, things like that, that will be available in that handbook. Your apparel. So those green polos that you got, that's what we're asking you to wear when you're volunteering. Your chair people will be wearing light blue and purple, but we're asking you to wear that green polo with khaki pants, capris, shorts, skirts, skirts. Try and stay away from the ultra baggy cargo pants, golf appropriate, you know where you are, and then comfortable closed-toed shoes. Some of you may be walking quite a bit. If you're wearing golf shoes, that's fine as long as they don't have metal spikes. And we ask that if you're on site, you only wear this when you are volunteering. If you come as a spectator, like I said with the credential, people are going to ask you questions if they see a green polo. So I suggest avoiding that if you're just coming to enjoy. Friendly reminders. Please check in at your designated spot 15 minutes prior to your shift start time. So those areas, they differ from committee to committee, and a reminder will be sent out about where to check in. So for example, marshals, you check in next to the tee box of your assigned hole. So we want you there 15 minutes before your shift starts. So if you're gonna grab breakfast before you go out, please plan accordingly and give yourself enough time so you are not late. If you are going to be late or can't make a shift, contact your committee chairperson as soon as you can so we can get somebody to fill in for you. And that is the same when you're already working and it's time for you to go. Please don't leave until your chairperson or hole captain gives you the green light or someone comes to take your spot. We don't want to all of a sudden have a gap in a volunteer position. Autographs, we all want them. Please don't ask for them or photos while you're working. If you want to do that before and after, please do. But like I mentioned previously, don't interrupt their routine, be courteous, say please and thank you. I don't need to remind you of that, but at the end of the day, these are professionals who are working. Their job is just a lot different than ours, so please be respectful of that. You guys are the eyes and ears of the championship, but you're not security. Please do not try to handle anything that is above your pay grade, as I like to say. We don't want you putting yourself in a dangerous position. It's better to contact someone and get someone else to handle the situation. People can get upset, and we don't want to put you in harm's way in any way. So please notify the correct parties if something is happening. Communication, if there's a problem, please let us know. If there is something that you're seeing, like I said, either a security problem or maybe there's just a big puddle of water leaking out of a hose, like please tell somebody so that we can get that fixed. When you are doing that, if you're over the radio, please be concise and to the point, and don't change anything or move anything. Rope lines, signage, don't move anything without USGA or championship staff approval. And it is also a very good idea to add your chairperson and or hole captain's cell phone number to your phone so that you have it ready to go if you do need to get in contact with them rather than trying to look through your emails. So I would encourage you to do that. All right, with that kind of concludes it. We are 37 days away, which is exciting and frightening because we have a lot to do. So once again, I want to say thank you to everybody who took the time to be here today. You can continue to pick up uniforms out in the lobby. Again, I am sorry about that line out there, but I thank you all, and I look forward to working with you soon. Thank you.